Nice to see Anthony tore it up in the month of May. Got the average up to about 240, Mark.
Finally.
He was below the Mendoza line at the start of the month, so kind of tore it up. All right, so here is how these two teams got here. Hinsdale Central beat one of their conference rivals, Lyons Township, in the section finals, and then played O'Fallon, the only downstate team of consequence in the tournament. And then Hinsdale Central had the big win over Loyola Academy in the state semis. Meanwhile, New Trier started out with a win over their neighbor Glenbrook South, and then took out Lake Forest before beating Naperville North in the semifinals last night to get to this title game. Both of these teams are number one sectional seeds in this tournament. So not a surprise that either one is here, but a little bit of a surprise, Mark, that Loyola is not here. But certainly these are two very deserving and outstanding teams.
Yeah, no question about it, Jimmy. So take a look at the team stats for the 20-3 New Trier Trevians. As you mentioned, they were the number one seed out of the Glenbrook North sectional. As a matter of fact, Jim, the IHSA, for the first year of doing the state tournament geographically, as you take a look at Hinsdale Central's team numbers, 17-5 overall, undefeated in conference play. Of the 8 sectionals, Jim, 6 of the 8 number ones won their sectionals. The only 2 sectionals that the number 1 seed did not win was the Minooka sectional. Lincoln Way Central was the number 1 seed. O'Fallon was the number 4 seed, as you take a look at the officials. And then the other sectional, Stevenson was number 1 out of the Warren sectional. It was Lake Forest, the number 2 seed, coming out of that sectional.
So we can declare the first IHSA girls lacrosse tournament a success unequivocally. And it's been, and again, I just want to say this right off the hop, that the governing bodies of both boys and girls lacrosse prior to this gracefully stepped aside and did everything they could to make sure the transition was smooth.
Yes.
And it was just really wonderful to see the adults being adults and, you know, putting this together for the benefit of the players. And so the winner of this game puts an IHSA trophy in their cabinet, and it will be the first ever awarded in the sport of lacrosse in the state of Illinois.
Glad you mentioned that, Jim. Obviously, the team or the group that sanctioned this before, the Illinois High School Women's Lacrosse Association, the president, Sarah McKenna, the vice president, Sarah Gutierrez, and what a job they have done over the years, Jim, as we covered this for a long time, not only with the Lacrosse Cup Championship, you know, the B division, the A division, but the All-Star Games as well. They did a great job over the years.
One of the great traditions of IHSA championships is students singing of our national anthem.
Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Pretty impressive, Jim.
Well, hard enough to sing that song without accompaniment, but one of the things I noticed about, because of the configuration of the building, the school building here, is the sound bounces right off the building right back at you. So I think what happened to Michelle there is she heard the echo coming off the building, and it's very disconcerting when you hear what you just said back in your ear, as we know about. Wonderful job by Michelle. Take a look at the starting lineups for these two teams in this championship game. For New Trier, just a lot of outstanding players, a lot of experience, all conference, all state. They are just a loaded team. Hinsdale Central, as we mentioned, not as many substitutes as New Trier has. So I would think that Hinsdale Central, Mark, is going to want to take their time and make sure that they are very economical in the way they use their energy in this game, because they just don't have as many people on the roster as New Trier does.
That's exactly right, Jim. And I was talking to Pete Collins, the head coach for New Trier. He said exactly that. He said we have a very deep team, a very versatile team. We're going to keep subbing players in and out, and we're just going to try to wear out Hinsdale Central as this game progresses. Well, getting back to Michelle, who belted out the national anthem, not only with a tough song, but she had to balance two microphones in one hand. Nice job, very nice.
And that was a big time performance. That was we hear a lot of kids sing the anthem, but Michelle had that almost like operatic, tone to her. Outstanding job. And as I mentioned, every year at state championship events around the state, it's one of the highest honors you can receive is be selected to sing the national anthem prior to an IHSA championship event. Interesting
early on here, Jim, how this Hinsdale Central team comes out after that huge emotional win over Loyola in the semis.
Katie Bush will take the face-off for New Trier, and of course in lacrosse, there's a possibility that the other team may never get the ball if you keep winning face-offs. So the face-offs are critical. Christiana Surtak will be on the face-off for Hinsdale Central. And for the first time in the history of Illinois high school sports, a state championship lacrosse game is underway.
2 25-minute halves on the girls' side.
Huge. Hinsdale Central, they win the faceoff, they get the ball first. Madeline Pisani will carry it forward for Hinsdale Central. Nobody stopping her for the moment. And finally, she is driven behind the goal by Lydia Kaup. Nice pass, good look, shot, score. Early, Sydney Collignan scores for Hinsdale Central. It was just 16 seconds into the game.
Well, how is Hinsdale Central going to come out after beating Loyola in the semis? Jim mentioned it. It only took 16 seconds. Take a look at Sydney. Hits the left part of the goal. Another look at it here, different angle. Nice cut by Sydney, and she scores the first goal of this girls' championship game.
Could not have had a better start for Hinsdale Central. So Surtak and Bush are going to come back and do it again.
Sydney, the junior, younger sister Jenna, a sophomore on the Hinsdale Central team.
And Surtak won it herself. She'll get it off to Elena Hamoud. Good speed, Sam Brescia up the field. Again, the New Trier defense having a little bit of a hard time getting organized in the transition, but they finally get it done here.
Yeah, we will keep an eye on those draw controls. Now Hinsdale Central 2 for 2.
Madeline Pisani will put it in behind the keeper. Starting in goal is Sabrina Rice for New Trier. And on the other end, it's Kelsey Chisholm for Hinsdale Central. Hinsdale Central off to the 1-0 lead. This is Jenna Collignan, older sister of Sydney. Or check that, younger. Had him transposed. Mark.
Jenna's the sophomore, right?
Right, yeah. Exactly. And now Hinsdale Central will be a little bit patient, in tight toward the goal, not an opportunity for Surtak to take a shot. So she'll just buy her some time. Early in the game, and even though we have a lot of time left, Hinsdale Central, they have to be, if they get a lead, they have to be smart. They can control the game, and they are doing so right now.
Yeah, very patient on this second possession.
Pisani puts it out on top. This is Jessica Joyce. She had a huge game in the semifinals.
Should mention no shot clock here at the high school level.
Sydney Collignan maybe looking for a second one. She was cut off on defense by Lydia Kaup. Hamoud in behind the goal. waiting for her teammates to move, trying to find an opening. Now maybe can she turn and go herself? She does, but didn't have an angle, couldn't get the shot off. And then a time violation on Hinsdale Central, and so for the first time in the game, and it took a minute 50 for New Trier to get their first possession of the game. I take that back. On the restart, it's going to be Hinsdale Central. Shot in traffic, and the shot didn't come, and Collignan lost it. And so now possession for New Trier in transition. Shevitz, the sophomore, across midfield, has some good speed. Hinsdale Central trying to pick up the attackers as they get back on defense.
Looked like Jenna Collignan. She got hit in the
Yep, got hit
in the head. Her
right,
goggles
right
came
in the
off.
head.
Yeah.
And I have to be honest, Mark, one of the things I don't understand about girls lacrosse is with all the concern about head injuries, why the girls don't wear helmets. It just doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
Agree with you 100%.
New Trier down 1-0, trying to work in tight, get a good look. Out in front, it was intended for Olivia Zabin. She lost it for a second, but the Trevians get it back. Charlie Meyer has it. Meyer backing in her defender, crosses over, couldn't get a shot off. Now behind the net for the Trevians. Into the hands of Olivia Zabin. Goal line extended and looking to turn and fire and shooting, but stopped was Sophia King.
Nice little hesitation move by Sophia King. Here she goes to work, backing in, throws it in, and a good save there by the goalkeeper, Chisholm.
King will take it on the restart. Comes in straight toward the goal and then had to duck under a check. And then took it behind the goal where New Trier will try and get organized again. King behind the net. She has had the ball a lot here in this New Trier possession. King really had nowhere to go with it, so dropped it off. They'll try and attack from an angle this time. This is Caskey, the senior, and she makes it a 1-1 game.
Courtney Caskey ties the game up. The 5'7" senior. Take another look at it here. She penetrates, goes left, and drops it in the lower left-hand part of the goal. Gets by Kelsey, and the unassisted goal by Courtney ties the game up at 1.
So the lead lasted just a little over 3 minutes. Can't say that we're surprised that New Trier, they can be a scoring machine if you are not careful on them. In fact, there's only been a couple of games this year where they haven't put double digits on the board, and those were both games against out-of-state competition. New Trier has yet to win a draw. Surtac has won both draws for Hinsdale Central. Popped out, and that one is won by the Trevians. They have a chance to take the lead now. Charlie Meyer, little bit of room to run. This is Caskey. Caskey had the goal just a few moments ago. And you see Pete Collins getting some fresh legs onto the field, onto the attack for New Trier after the face-off win. Charlie Meyer, a little bit of time, and now Caskey has it. Caskey will back out, let everybody set. Sophie Randall tries to draw the defenders into the middle with her. Caskey again on the run. Looked like she might make a turn and head toward the net, but was cut off on her path to the goal by Maura Mulligan. Goal line extended. Shevitz couldn't get the shot off, and now we see New Trier being very patient as we're coming up on the 20-minute mark in the first half. Popped inside, tough shot. King really couldn't get her arm extended and then let it fly, and it goes over the top of the net, but it will remain New Trier possession.
Really nice pass by Caskey. Yeah, look for Courtney and Claudia Shevitz, number 26 and number 23, the two middies. They run the transition beautifully, both scoring threats.
Lucy Murray with her first time on the attack today.
Of course, Lucy had that big game against Naperville North in the semis.
Murray being shadowed by Shea Dratty. Murray just trying to find somewhere to go where she can find somebody open who maybe has a lane and a look. Murray comes out, takes a turn, goes low, and scores.
Wow.
2-1 New Trier. Well, you talk about patient, Mark. Lucy Murray waited and waited and waited and then went low and scores.
Well, we mentioned she's the quarterback of this New Trier attack, and you're right, Jim. Patient, then she went down low, as hopefully we can take another look at it here as New Trier with a couple of unanswered goals takes the lead here now, 2-1. Take a look at it here. Goes down low, and just like that, New Trier leads it 2-1.
So New Trier fell behind early, but they rally with a couple of goals. Scored a couple of minutes apart. And now a really huge draw.
Goal number 83 on the year, by the way, for Lucy Murray.
Popped in the air, and it is Lucy Murray that picks up the ground ball. So after losing the first two draws of the game, New Trier has won 2 in a row. Murray lost it, and then scooping up behind the goal was Sophia King. Sophie Randall and the rest of the attackers come on for New Trier now.
Jim, I know we're only 5.5 minutes into this, but Hinsdale Central won the first couple draw controls, and since then it's kind of shifted towards New Trier a little bit.
Sophie Randall out on the edge, and New Trier will just be, they'll be patient at times and just work it around and make you come out and defend them. And you have to be careful when you do that, because that's when you can find yourself one-on-one, and if somebody has a step, they get by you in a hurry. You see Caskey, she took a step in, Mark, and then backed out. But the defenders for the Hinsdale Central not going out there. King trying to turn and get a look. Dropped it off. Nifty little pass. Dropped it into the hands of Shevitz. Now a ground ball in front of the Hinsdale Central goal. That's scooped up nicely by Hamoud.
Good defense by the Red Devils.
Well, the Red Devils went backwards, and New Trier is, look how aggressive they're being on defense. Hinsdale Central is really going to have to work to get this into the attack. Jenna Collignan, midfield, and she'll cross midfield now.
And they're going to do that all game long, Jim, because they've got the depth. They can continue to sub people in and out of this game.
Pisani to Hamoud. Okay, Pisani will look at some options now, and Hinsdale Central just, they'll swing it around the perimeter, to use a basketball term.
There you go.
Now, number 21 for New Trier, she knows all about basketball terms. That's Gabby Malnati. She is the daughter of Rick Malnati, the longtime New Trier coach, and Rick just got done being the head coach at Fenwick.
Who's in attendance here today.
Yes, he's here, and he's going to concentrate on the pizza business for a while.
Yeah, he didn't bring us a couple of slices.
No samples.
Very disappointing.
Yeah, Rick's usually good for that, but today, no dice. On the attack, Collignan goes. She goes high and scores. So it's Collignan's 2, New Trier 2.
The sophomore Collignan now with the goal to tie the game up. Or did they count it, Jim? Oh, I think it was a crease violation.
Okay, no goal.
Oh, Jenna does not get the goal.
No. So still 2-1 New Trier at midfield. Zabin chased down, but able to advance. Zabin going out wide and still going past the white jerseyed Hinsdale Central Red Devils.
Boy, Rick Malnati's looking awful good, isn't he? He's awful relaxed.
Yep.
He's got to get back into coaching. He's way too young to be retired from coaching. Asked him if Porter Mosier gave him a call because, he assisted at Loyola for a couple of years. He said no.
Yeah, and that's actually becoming something we're seeing a lot of coaches in various sports do. They coach for a few years and then they take a few years off, which I think is good, because what a lot of them do is they take time off. The younger coaches do when their kids start playing. Yeah. And they take time off, which I know coach I knew pretty well when I was working in St. Charles, Sean Mason Cup. One of the guys he really respected was Gordy Kirkman, the longtime basketball coach at West Aurora. And he told Sean, he goes, well, if he had to do it all over again, the one thing he'd do different, he said he would have taken time off to watch his kids play.
Okay.
So Sean was coaching, assistant basketball coach. He was also coaching tennis at St. Charles North. He's taking some time off because his kids are at the age now where they're playing their games. So I applaud the coaches who do that.
Yeah.
I can also understand why someone might want to keep coaching as well. That's a great decision as well. If you have knowledge and wisdom, you can impart to other kids too. But it's something we see more and more in high school coaching now, is people taking a few years off. Hinsdale Central, they got to stop on defense. Now can they put it in the net again and have it count this time?
Right.
It looked like the last time down they had a game-tying goal, but there was a crease violation, so the goal was waved off. Jessica Joy gets a screen, comes in, takes a fake. That was nice defense. Good job of moving the feet by Claire Gottrich. In behind the goal, Surtak couldn't get an angle. From the side, an attack by Hamoud that was shut off. Hinsdale Central will reset. Jenna Collignan and Sydney Collignan out on top, and they're out there with Madeline Pisani. This is Pisani right now. Pisani trying to move in, and again, the defense for New Trier is right there.
Yes, doesn't matter what sport, Jim, you have to move your feet defensively.
Yep. Out in front, tough shot, score, and that one's going to count. Surtak ties it up.
Christiana Surtak, the 5'10 senior mid, getting the ball. Here, let's take another look at it. See her moving right there in front of the goal. Nice pass. Really nice pass from Lally Johnson. Johnson's going to get the assist. And Surtak tying the game up. Beautiful pass. And there's the catch and shoot by Surtak.
And Surtak, as Mark mentioned, is 5'10", so it's almost like a post player in basketball. She used her height, and she put the ball way up in the air where no one's going to get anywhere near it, and just threw it down into the net for the score to tie it at 2-2.
Went to college with Christiana's mom. Saw her, talked to her a little bit before the ball game. I know she's proud.
Okay, Mark. So
yeah, don't ask.
Here's my question for you. How old does it make you feel that you have one of your classmates' kids playing in the game that you are calling?
Very, very old.
Ground ball off the draw, and it's controlled by Elena Hamoud. Hinsdale Central, the advantage in the draw is 3-2. Looking for a goal that would make it 3-2. If you get a chance here, I'll tell you about my feel old moment calling games. Hinsdale Central will work it around. James Hawkins, who is a counselor at St. Charles East High School. He was worked with him in my time there. When he started working in the district, he says, "Hey, do you remember a football game between Libertyville and Munderline 2002? I go, "Yeah, I remember that game." He goes, "Yeah, I played in it." So now I'm working with somebody that I called one of their games in high school. Yeah, out in front, shot, score. Hinsdale Central. Jenna Collignan, her second of the game, or her first of the game.
Yeah.
First one that counts, and it's 3-2 Hinsdale Central.
Good movement by Jenna away from the ball. We talk about flashing to the open spot, and now each Collignan has a goal. Take another look at it here. You see Jenna, watch number 4. Okay, good movement there. Another pass there by Johnson, and boy, Hinsdale Central takes the lead now, 3-2. We got a good one here, Jim.
Yeah, and I just thinking about the fact that New Trier, with that long pedigree of girls lacrosse, and Hinsdale Central too, because they were a fixture in the Final Four. They had a hard time getting to championship games. Last time Hinsdale Central was in a state championship game was 2015. It seemed they would always just get derailed in the semifinals, but Hinsdale Central right now, a lot of momentum off that win yesterday over Loyola, and now continuing against New Trier. Sydney Collignan had the assist, by the way, on Jenna's goal.
Okay, I thought it was Johnson 20, but it was 21 Sydney. Okay.
Correct.
Two sisters.
Draw control by Hinsdale Central, scooped up by Hamoud.
Of course, the last team, Jim, other than Loyola to be a state champion, 2008 New Trier. The year before that, this Hinsdale Central team defeated Loyola for a championship.
There has never been a 2-goal lead in this game.
No.
Attempt right here for Hinsdale Central, and great stop in front by Sabrina Rice.
No doubt about it, the 5'7" senior goalie here. Let's take another look at it here. Hinsdale Central threatening to go up by 2, but look at that. Sabrina puts that stick right up there, and the ball goes right in there.
And Rice very nearly gave it away after that stop, but it was Claire Mulhern that was able to bail out the Trevians she beat about 3 Hinsdale Central girls to the loose ball. Gabby Malnati plays it over the near side. This is Sophie Randall. Sophie Randall, long strides, eating up turf down the sideline, gets around her defender, and now New Trier trying to set up and trying to tie the game up again at 3-3. King behind the goal, gave it off for Katie Bush. 13 minutes exactly remaining here in the first half. Hinsdale Central leading on their home turf 3-2.
60 teams started this season. Aspirations of winning a state championship, and it all comes down to 2 teams, Hinsdale Central and New Trier.
In behind the goal, here's Sophia King. So, okay, lacrosse now a full-fledged IHSA sport.
Right.
Well, who's going to make the push next? Because I think finances come in as far as adding sports and things like that. So
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a while before we see another sport added. But you wonder, like rugby, maybe something like
That's what I was kind of thinking, because they have some club
that?
teams.
So there are a
now
lot of
rugby.
it has to be a sport that has some infrastructure in place.
Yeah.
Well, we hear a vote for hockey from the truck, but I just don't. The expense of that one makes it very, very difficult for me. Go low and a big stop by Kelsey Chisholm.
Shevitz went down low here. Take another look at it here. Claudia Shevitz, number 23, makes the move in the middle, shoots, and a nice save by Kelsey.
Name the 2 IHSA member schools that have ice rinks on their campus.
Oh, man. Is it Lake Forest?
Lake Forest Academy is one.
No, you said this other one, too.
And I heard an HF from somewhere
Oh,
down
okay,
in
HF. All
Now,
right.
it's part of the Homewood Flossmoor Park District, but it's on the school
on
the school campus.
Of course, I think the 2 biggest growing sports, Jim, lacrosse and boys volleyball.
Yeah.
Lake Forest Academy, they have a very nice rink.
And it's right next
to
to theirs is, I mean, it's part of the building of the school. It's right
Yeah.
next to the football field.
Right.
They played 8-man football last year. Loose ball in front of the goal, nearly picked up by Jessica Joy. She stayed with it and got it. So Hinsdale Central on the attack again and looking for a 2-goal lead.
Very impressed with Hinsdale Central. Once they get set in its offense, they're very, very patient. You see them working it around the perimeter, as you mentioned earlier, Jim, looking for a slasher or a cutter down the middle.
Yeah, just to take the thought on hockey, I just think the budgets of high school athletic departments are not equipped for the expense of getting ice. Because schools don't have their own facilities, it gets a little pricey.
Yeah.
For anybody who's a hockey parent, they know that's why you practice at 11:30 at night sometimes. you don't get prime time. It's expensive. Figure skaters will usually buy that up. Jenna Collignan out on top, and that's Sister Sydney. And then the third Collignan sister, Madeline Pisani, has it now.
Yeah.
Pisani working her way in. Looked like she had an angle and instead had to put it behind the net. Very impressed with the patience by both of these teams.
How many unforced errors have we seen?
Very
few.
few.
I can't think of one, Jim. Passing has been precise.
Sydney Collignan trying to get an angle. Double team. Ducks between the double team. Moves and fires, and that one didn't get through. That was a great move by Sydney Collignan. Then she stayed with it and got the ground ball. She just lowered her head and went right in between the 2 players that made up the double team. Here comes that double team again by New Trier, but instead it ends up back behind the goal. Hinsdale Central 4-1 on ground balls. Well, Hinsdale Central is doing everything they need to do if you are going to knock off what is the highest ranked team left in the tournament.
Yeah.
That is, they're winning face-offs and they're getting the ground balls. Sydney Collignan to Jenna Collignan. Jenna Collignan tries a spin move. Here comes the double team. She's stuck. Can she split the defense like her sister did? The answer was no. Ground ball, all sorts of battling, all sorts of pushing. And it is going to go to New Trier. Boy, that was impressive defense by New Trier on that set.
Good stop, good sinking defense, good help defense.
8.5 minutes remaining in the opening half. Here's Caskey. She had the opening goal of the game for New Trier, and now the Trevians trying to tie it up. Caskey looked like she was going to go outside and just turned and went toward the middle of the field. Almost looked like it was going to be a problem for Hinsdale Central, but the Red Devils able to recover. Can New Trier tie it up? We were tied at 1, we were tied at 2. New Trier, 5 shots by 4 different players. Claudia Shevitz turns in front. Oh, she got her foot kind of stuck, and her foot was facing away from the goal and really couldn't turn and pivot and shoot.
Yeah, she was ready to fly, or ready to let it fly, Jimmy. You mentioned slipped a little bit.
Olivia Zabin with it for New Trier. And now Sophie Randall.
Well, think about this for a minute, Jim. If Hinsdale Central wins the state title, they would have had to gone through Loyola and New Trier to get it done.
Yeah,
How about that?
I will tell you what, if Hinsdale Central lifts the trophy, it is one of the most legit, beat all the best teams on your way to a title we'll ever seen in any sport. They will have knocked off all the big boys and then announced themselves that, hey, you know what, we're in the same class. King was working toward the goal, couldn't get a shot off, and then a big stop by Kelsey Chisholm.
Nice shot on goal by Olivia Zabin. Number 12, third save, by the way, by Chisholm.
7 minutes remaining in the half. Hinsdale Central, another stop on defense.
Yeah.
Now a chance for a 2-goal lead. And they're going to have to backtrack as Maura Mulligan was sent back. Plays it back to Chisholm. Maura Mulvihill. Boy, New Trier is really making Hinsdale Central work it out of their own end of the field. Sam Brescia puts it into the New Trier end of the field. This is Jenna Collignan. Collignan was bearing in on Claire Gottrich. Here's Jessica Joy. Hinsdale Central, they have been patient to get their offense set. They work it down off of the wing of the goal, 45 degrees out from the post, and then that's when New Trier has been double teaming the ball. Hinsdale Central working on their skills right now, Mark.
Yes, they are. And during the regular season, Jim, Hinsdale Central took a page out of the Loyola and New Trier scheduling book as they scheduled some teams out of state, downstate in Georgia, Virginia. They lost to a team from Michigan. So they've been going out of state to play some games as well.
Tried to pass it in the middle. The Collignan sisters can't connect. Results in a ground ball, and it was scooped up by Surtek. What a great job of hustling back by that was Pisani. Madeline Pisani, and then hitting the deck hard is Brescia. She paid the price for her team, and Hinsdale Central will keep possession.
Boy, Pisani got triple teamed right around midfield. 3 Trevians all around her.
Brescia on the restart. Elena Hamoud. And now Pisani gets it back.
Again, these two teams met back on May 17th, and New Trier won 11-9.
Probably the nicest thing for all these players today is the weather is good.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
The weather has been awful this spring. So then you finally broke out of the needing your coats, and then last weekend, Memorial Day, was 90 degrees. And Hinsdale Central will keep possession with 4:34 to go here in the first half.
Yeah, foul on the Trevians. 3rd foul of the game for New Trier. Great opportunity here for the Red Devils.
Pisani fakes and then goes in behind the goal. Hinsdale Central has backed in the New Trier defense, though. A little bit. They were trying to hit Pisani coming down the middle, and again, the Red Devils put the ball on the turf but are able to get it back.
Surtak, number 12, got that ground ball.
New Trier has won only 1 ground ball in this game versus 5 for Hinsdale Central. On the attack, tough shot. Big stop by Sabrina Rice, but Hinsdale Central able to get it right back. 3:44 to go.
Boy, this has been an evenly played game. This has been a great game.
Hamoud behind the net. This is Surtak. Hamoud looking kind of stagnant right now for Hinsdale Central.
Took the word right out of my mouth. I was just going to say stagnant. Going to need a little bit of movement here.
But with the lead and time running down, not a bad way to go. And do we have a crease violation before the shot?
On the drive, I think it was a bit of a hold.
Let's see. And it will be
I think it's Pisani.
Hinsdale Central on the restart. It's Pisani. Pisani moves in, takes a look, fires. That was blocked before it got to Rice. Looked like Rice wasn't exactly sure where it was, but then it was scooped up by Gottrich. Under 3 minutes to go here in the first half. New Trier looking for the game-tying goal. And the thing that's really impressed me, Mark, about this first half is this is an extremely low-scoring game for these two teams.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no question about it.
The defenses have been outstanding. In the open field, Mulvihill. One of the only things Hinsdale Central has struggled with is getting the ball out of their end of the field, but then they get a break and then they go. Brescia just keeps running. Nobody really stops the drive, and then finally she's turned back. Hinsdale Central will set up now, 2:12 to go in the first half.
Hinsdale Central, before they beat Loyola 8-5, put up 18 goals against a very good O'Fallon team in the super sectional. Boy, very impressed with the patience of the Red Devils here offensively.
Yeah, Hinsdale Central has gotten up above 20 several times this spring also.
Right.
Under 2 minutes to go. From the side, tough drive, good defense. And that time it was Lydia Kaup that stopped the rush. Here comes Surtak. Again, she gets double teamed and didn't have an opening. Now it's going to be Jenna Kalignan's turn. She doesn't see an opportunity. Boy, the Trier defense, it looks like there's an opening to attack and it just disappears.
It's the double, yeah, they get double teamed right away. It's the help defense, Jim. Whenever a Red Devil streaks to the goal, they're immediately getting double teamed.
Dangerous moment in front, down low, score. Jessica Joy gives Hinsdale Central a 2-goal lead.
Sophomore attacker, 5'7", Jessica's first goal of the game. And as Jim mentioned, a huge 2-goal lead in this game as she goes bottom shelf, if you will. There you see it off of the restart. Good movement away from the ball by Joy. Got it in the crease and let it fly. Pisani getting the assist. The Red Devils are in good shape here with the first half winding down.
A huge draw coming up for New Trier. Katie Bush really needs to win this one for the Trevians. I'll guarantee you, Mark, if Hinsdale Central wins this draw, they're going to take their time and make sure New Trier never sees the ball the rest of this half.
You bet, you bet. Great strategy by head coach Dan Hartman, the head coach for Hinsdale Central offensively, taking the time, running the clock a little bit. Coach Hartman is 5th year at Hinsdale Central, 3rd year as the head girls lacrosse coach. Of course, he's the head football coach here as well.
Surtak won it to Jenna Kalignan.
Wow.
Hinsdale Central dominating the draws, 5-2.
And the ground balls as well, Jim.
Yes.
And now a stoppage of play here. Boy, the Red Devils up by 2, little over a minute to go in the first half. Of course, it helps a little bit, too. They're playing on their home field here as well. Good crowd from both teams.
110 off of the restart. Moving in is Hamoud. I would be shocked if they really go into any kind of an offensive mode before there's about 30 seconds remaining.
Yeah.
New Trier not coming out on defense, which I think is the right thing to do. They've been so good defensively here in the opening half that
Yes.
I don't see why you want to give them a lane to attack you right now.
All 4 Hinsdale Central goals by 4 different players.
30 seconds left. So let's see if they go into attack mode here now. This is Jessica Joy, scored the most recent goal. Joy not seeing an opening. J.R. Smith not out there, so I think everybody knows the situation. Come on, Mark, I got to get a chuckle out of that one. Work hard for that one. Kalignan. Sydney Kalignan lost the ball. Getting it back was Joy. Trying to find a place to fire it behind the goal. Can they get one more shot off? The answer is yes. And it was stopped by Sabrina Rice, but I think we get a violation in the crease before the shot, so we have 2 seconds remaining.
Yeah. And New Trier is just, yeah, they're not even going to let it fly downfield. No really need to do that.
Well, they have to put it in play.
Yeah. They're just going to run it out.
So that'll end the first half. Hinsdale Central, remember they fell behind 2-1. Then Surtak, Jenna Kalignan, Jessica Joy, they all score. And at the half, in this IHSA Girls Lacrosse Championship game, it's Hinsdale Central 4, New Trier 2 on the CN100 Game of the Week. And we welcome you back to Hinsdale Central High School, where the home team in this state championship game, the Hinsdale Central Red Devils, leading New Trier by a score of 4-2. And Mark and I talked about it several times during the half, but the little things that go into getting you a win were dominated by Hinsdale Central.
Yeah, you take a look at the ground balls there, Jim. 5-2 advantage. The draw controls also 5-2 advantage. Both teams played well. New Trier, though, Jim, with 4 turnovers. They committed 6 fouls in that first half. They did not have a free position shot. Hinsdale Central 1 of 2 on free position shots, and that's part of the reason, as you mentioned, the little things, the reason why Hinsdale Central up by 2 here at half.
And really the draw controls is really the thing that you look at that is huge, because you know, there were, especially the first 2 of the game that were controlled by Hinsdale Central, that got their goal and then put them right back on the offensive attack. Kelsey Chisholm had a nice first half, had a couple of good stops. Her team has gotten her the lead, and New Trier is an offensive powerhouse. They have a lot of different ways they can come at you. Chisholm did a nice job there, just coming out of the goal and really not giving up any kind of an angle.
Here's another nice save, as you see the kind of a scoop shot there by Shevitz. Another angle here. That's a shot by Zabin. And another nice save by Chisholm, and she's done a great job as the Hinsdale Central fans enjoying this first half so far here today.
Yeah, the Red Devils have it going their way, but the thing about New Trier is they are so talented offensively that a 2-goal lead is not enough. I mean, I will guarantee you 4 goals is not enough to win this game.
No. But the Red Devils getting the goals from the players who should be getting the goals. Jessica Joy, she had 4 goals in that win against Loyola. Lally Johnson had 2 goals. Jenna Kalignan had the other 2 goals against the Ramblers.
And we want to tell you about the next time you can catch up with Perry Williams. We start with highlights from across the Chicago area, mix in interviews with coaches, players, and fans, and Sports Weekly comes to life. Join Perry Williams every Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday at 6:30 p.m. here on CN100 for the week's most comprehensive high school sports coverage in Chicagoland. You can also catch Perry in HD on demand under Get Local CN100. X1 users look for Get Local under the Xfinity Services tab. Perry will have highlights of the girls' 2A and 3A state championship soccer games at North Central College. And tonight, in the girls' 3A game, New Trier is going to take on Barrington.
New Trier.
Folks, what a game.
Oh,
that's a great matchup. Plus, you'll be able to see highlights of the boys' volleyball state championship at Hoffman Estates. So there are your West Suburban soccer or lacrosse standings for this year. League won by Hinsdale Central as they beat all comers and took down everybody that tried to challenge them, Mark.
And, of course, New Trier winning their conference, going undefeated at 7-0 as well. You know, one of the things that Perry won't have in his highlights, and I got to get this up because Dale Van Duzer is going to just kill me if we don't. His Aurora Christian Eagle, yeah, there's a look at the Central Suburban with New Trier winning it on top, 7-0, 20-3 overall. But congratulations to the Eagles of Aurora Christian, the 1A baseball champions. They beat Velmeyer today 5-1. Congratulations to head coach Andy Zorger and the Eagles of Aurora Christian. Did you talk to Dale at all today?
Did talk to Dale. He went to Peoria. There's Dale.
He is.
He's a very, very happy guy, trust me.
Yeah.
And congratulations to our host from last Friday night, Ron Lear, the athletic director at Plainfield North High School. The Tigers, both their girls softball team and their boys baseball team, won sectional championships today, and they are on their way to the super sectionals. And Plainfield North in the baseball game, they beat Nequa Valley, and that's significant because that was the final game of the fine baseball coach for Nequa Valley High School, Robin Renner. He's retiring at the end of this school year.
Great coach.
Oh, great coach, great guy, and he was also the timekeeper at Nequa Valley football games. So Brandon Atkins is going to have to find a lot of people to replace at Nequa Valley. And then speaking of the Wildcats, their boys volleyball team, playing in the state championship game this evening against Lincoln Way East, and the Griffins have been ranked number 1 all year long.
Nequa knocked off Glumbard West, Jim, 24-26, 25-22, 25-20 to get to that championship same game. So Glumbard West will not be getting their 4th straight state title.
And to bring it all around to the circle, in the third place game, Glenbard West beat New Trier.
There you go.
So New Trier had a chance at 3 state titles when the day began today.
Yeah.
And so while the boys volleyball team was unsuccessful, if Pete Collins and his team can come back here, they will claim a state championship, and then the girls soccer team has a chance for another one tonight against a very good Barrington team. You get a look at Dan Hartman on the Hinsdale Central sideline. His team 1/2 away from the first ever Illinois High School Association Lacrosse Championship.
Pete Collins has been teaching and coaching at New Trier for 23 years, became the head coach in 2002.
Jim Blaney, Mark Kruger, our entire CN100 crew are at Hinsdale Central High School for the first ever lacrosse IHSA championship game. The girls settle their championship right now, and then the boys, New Trier and Loyola, will play for the boys' title following this one. Hinsdale Central, another draw win.
That has been the name of this game, a 6-2 advantage on draw controls now for the Red Devils.
Now, in spite of the fact that they're behind in this game, the defense for New Trier has been very impressive. Hinsdale Central has really had to work to get any kind of an open look at the cage, and then Sabrina Rice has been there with some nice saves as well. So it's been a very hard-earned 4 goals so far by Hinsdale Central. They work on the attack here, and they're going to reset behind the goal. Hamoud walks it up. Nobody really goes at her. They all defend the possible outlets. Madeline Pisani behind the goal. Hamoud, will she turn and fire? Works it along the goal line. Nowhere to go with it. Kept control.
Yeah, great decision. She got double teamed. Nothing was there, so she backed it out.
Dropped off, spin move, shot by Jessica Joy, and it's a 3-goal lead for Hinsdale Central.
Wow. 4 unanswered goals now for Hinsdale Central. Jessica Joy, as we mentioned, had 4 goals in the semis against Loyola. Comes up with her 2nd goal here. Look at the spin. And in one motion goes down low for her 2nd goal of the game. Another angle here. 2 goals. She's had 3 shots. 2 were converted into goals. Boy, going to the sophomore, Jessica Joy.
Claudia Shevitz will be on the draw for New Trier. Trevians have got to start winning some draws now.
So remember, Jessica, she had the final goal with 1.5 minutes left to go in the first half.
And Surtak wins another one, and here come the Red Devils again. Hamoud. Boy, you know, Mark, I wouldn't be patient on this possession. I would attack, attack, attack.
Momentum is certainly on the side of Hinsdale Central right now.
The patient approach has worked.
It has.
And New Trier did a nice job of getting organized quickly on defense. So now I think we will see Hinsdale Central take their time a little bit.
And, you know, Pete Collins, he was telling me before the ball game that he's just, you know, he's going to try to wear out Hinsdale Central. But with them being so patient offensively here, Jim.
Right. But we talked about it at the very top about how Hinsdale Central, with not as many subs as New Trier has, that be economical in using your energy. And they've done that, but they've also cashed in.
Yeah. It's one thing of just holding on to the ball and not executing, but they have executed.
On the drive and the attack, nice pass, and Joy puts it in again off a beautiful assist by Sydney Collignan.
Jessica Joy getting the hat trick here, and as you mentioned, Jim, beautiful assist from Collignan on the interior. Take another look. Here's Collignan. She penetrates. Looking. Now the pass to Joy, and Joy lets it go, bounces in, gets by Rice for her 3rd goal of the game.
The true definition of a hat trick is not 3 goals in a game. It is 3 consecutive goals. It's been kind of morphed over the years to mean 3. But Jessica Joy with a true hat trick. She has scored 3 consecutive goals and given Hinsdale Central a 4-goal lead.
Boy, you see the time, 22:39 left, but boy, this is critical time here for New Trier.
Katie Bush back in for the faceoff. Christiana Surtak, no sense in changing something that's working.
Right. Hinsdale Central's only loss to an Illinois team has been to New Trier.
Another draw won by Hinsdale Central.
Wow.
They have won 8 out of 10 in the game, and remember that New Trier, the 2 that they did win, came back-to-back.
Right. That's your headline right now so far.
6 draws in a row
Yeah.
for Hinsdale Central. And they're back onto offense, and they have the lead, and the clock is running. And even though we have a long way to go, the most beautiful sight right now for the Red Devils is that clock ticking.
Yeah. And New Trier just packing it in defensively. What thoughts are going through their mind?
In behind the goal, can they work it out front and get an angle on it? No. And having to back out is Sydney Collignan. Elena Hamoud works her way in. Backed out, still on her forehand, but didn't take the shot.
Trevians have come so close over the years. We mentioned Loyola has won it the last 9 years. New Trier has been Loyola's opponent in those 9 years, 6 of the 9 years.
The New Trier boys team has arrived, and they are filing in right now. They will play in a championship game against their arch rivals, Loyola, in the boys championship game coming up next. Hinsdale Central, here comes the patience. Surtak runs in, nobody stops her, she fires, and a big save made by Sabrina Rice.
Well, nice move by Christiana Surtek. She had the open lane right in the middle. Oh, now an injured.
That was a high stick that just clipped Claire Mulhern right in the head.
Yeah, boy, it looks like hopefully Claire's going to be okay. Yeah, she's going to have the restart here. Take another look at it. She gets the outlet pass from Rice and got banged in the head. Luckily, she had those goggles.
Courtney Caskey trying to carry it into the attack for New Trier. Trevians really need a score here. Sophie Randall midfield. Trevians, nice job of taking care of possession. That's the key thing. Madison Smith, beautiful pass. Got it to Randall. Randall's got some room.
Oh, my, I'm surprised she didn't take the shot.
And she looked like J.R. Smith. Yeah,
did you hear his comments after the game, by the way?
You know, as soon as that happened, I'm like, he didn't know what the score was.
In his post-game comment, he said, "Oh, I knew we were tied."
We're going to call timeout. Yeah, right. Just give the ball to LeBron.
Very simple.
That was amazing. You know what? Own it. Just own it.
Exactly.
Caskey got free.
Oh, nice move.
Oh, couldn't get the shot off. Sophia King battles her way in front, lost the handle, and I think she got chopped at. So this is going to be New Trier once we get started again. And big opportunity now for Sophia King.
Yes, got hit on the shoulder. First restart.
King drives, goes low, lost the handle before she could get the shot off. But New Trier will retain possession. King will get to try it again.
If the Trevians and Pete Collins realize how important this possession is. Can't go down 5 goals.
King poised and ready.
Yep.
And decides to drop it out. Yeah, she was in too tight. Everything converged too quickly. This is too big of a possession to not get an outstanding shot opportunity. The last New Trier goal was over 25 minutes ago at 19:48 remaining in the first half. It's been a while.
Yeah.
They have to get one right here. Lucy Murray has one of the 2 New Trier goals. She had the second one. She was the last Trevian to score. King trying to turn and get free. She splits the double team and she missed the net. New Trier will keep possession though. 18:42 remaining in the half.
Pretty good move by Sophia King, the 5'5" senior attacker. Just wide, but the Trevians will get another opportunity.
Clock continues to burn. And Lucy Murray, she took a step toward the goal and we had a tangle in front of the goal. Claudia Shevitz was involved in it for New Trier and Maria Mulvihill for Hinsdale Central. So New Trier is going to get the ball. They're going to get it on the restart, and Shevitz has it. Shevitz has some room here.
Yeah. Oh, she moved early.
So Hinsdale Central is going to get it, and they end the possession by New Trier. 17:54 remaining in the half. Hinsdale Central up by 4 goals.
That is something you normally do not see from a New Trier team. Although Shevitz comes back, makes a nice defensive play.
Shea Dratty lost it along the near sideline, but there to pick her up was Samantha Brescia. She has a lot of room. Brescia running free, coming in, passes off, the pass is deflected, it still ends up in the net. Hang on. Goal waved off, but it will still be Hinsdale Central ball.
Well, let's take another look at it here. All kinds of action here, and you see Brescia coming in all the way, and there's off the deflection, Lally Johnson.
Boy, that was I did not see anybody in the crease.
No.
So the good news for Hinsdale Central is that although the goal gets waved off, they keep possession. So they have a 4-goal lead and 17 minutes left in the half.
Yeah, wow, that clock already down to 17
Yep.
minutes. Boy.
Yeah, I am sure if you're in the New Trier half of the equation, that clock is moving a lot faster than it normally does. And then it's moving excruciatingly slowly for Hinsdale Central.
Yeah, you're only going to get an X number of possessions from the rest of this game.
Well, that's the big challenge right now, Mark. The way you look at it is four possessions, okay, you can see it, but if you go down 5, to get 5 possessions in 15 minutes, that could be a little tough.
And then you're going to have to get some draw controls too.
Right.
Which has been dominated by Hinsdale Central in this game.
Red Devils double teamed, lost it. Ground ball scooped up by Claire Mulhern. So New Trier gets a stop. Now they have to get on the attack. Lost it midfield. Ground ball. Most of these have gone to Hinsdale Central today. This one ends up going to New Trier. Gabby Malnati came up with it for the Trevians. Only the 3rd ground ball picked up by the Trevians today. If they can get a goal in the next 90 seconds, they've got plenty of time.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm not going to say a must possession here, but boy, New Trier needs a goal desperately.
We have had no scoring in the last 7 minutes of action. And that plays right into Hinsdale Central's hands. Caskey off the screen, got free, fires, and it was deflected by Chisholm, but it went harmlessly to the side of the cage and should scoop it up.
Oh, great opportunity there for Courtney to try to get her 2nd goal of the game. Just wasn't there.
Hinsdale Central trying to carry it out of their own end. Having fits. We saw this a couple of times during the opening half. Maria Mulvihill, a little bit of room to operate. Carries it up. Passes off in midfield. Hamoud had to go back to Mulvihill.
Remember in the first half we saw the pressure from New Trier in the backfield, if you will.
Hinsdale Central, nice job of handling the ball in their own half of the field.
Spreading the field out nicely.
Pisani has it for Hinsdale Central. We are now under 15 minutes to go, and it is a 4-goal lead for the Hinsdale Central Red Devils. Not surprising that Hinsdale Central is leading. What is surprising is how dominant they've been in this game.
Yeah.
I certainly did not expect that. And they've been so crisp with the way they've moved the ball. Mistakes have been at a minimum for these teams. The difference in the game right now, draw control and ground balls for Hinsdale Central. It has given them extra possessions. Elena Hamoud. 14 minutes to go in the second half. Jenna Calignan takes a step, drops it back. Here's Hamoud. Hamoud sees everybody stacked up in the middle of the field right now, and finally battling her way to come out and play defense is Anna Resnick. Hamoud handling the ball, going back, now starts to move forward. Gets a little bit of a look, and instead decided to pass it off to Jenna Calignan.
Well, usually throughout the season, New Trier has been the one to wear out opponents. Pete Collins telling me that was the strategy here, but it seems like now New Trier dragging a little defensively.
Well, now if you're Hinsdale Central, you look up at that clock and you see that there might only be 13 minutes left in the season, and we've got the lead, and we could be the last team standing. So I am sure any fatigue that might be out there is going to go away based on adrenaline.
Oh, no doubt about it.
13 minutes remaining in the second half. Still a 6-2 lead for Hinsdale Central as they continue to be patient with the ball and just not making mistakes in the attack end.
Yeah, under 13 minutes. At some point, New Trier is going to have to extend its defense a little bit. Try to create some turnovers.
Well, I said at halftime that 4 goals was not going to be enough to win this game. I could very well be wrong. There's a shot, and that was blocked by Sabrina Rice. Madeline Pisani with the shot. But Hinsdale Central retains possession.
Yep.
Jenna Collignan, double teamed way away from the net. We haven't seen New Trier do this on defense yet. They get aggressive on defense, and Collignan makes a nice play. Passed it off to Madeline Pisani. Pisani trying to turn the corner and get an angle and could not do it.
Yeah, they're double teaming now. They're gambling.
They're getting way out there.
Yeah, and they have to with just 12 minutes left.
This possession started with 14:47 to go. We're now under 12 minutes. They are running the football, Mark.
Yeah, they've rattled off 3 minutes off the clock, and now we got a foul here against the Trevians.
It's Jenna Collignan got a shove from Claire Gottrich.
Yeah.
Fouls even at 9-9.
Time to play keep away if you're the Red Devils.
Jenna Collignan. Now Pisani. Pisani, long pass, boy. It's really been amazing the job that the Hinsdale Central players have done with long passing. Again, Mark, they have, just I was about to say, they haven't made any mistakes. They turn it over.
Yeah.
And a little bit of life for New Trier with 11:10 to go.
Yeah, the Red Devils controlled the clock for a little more than 3 minutes that possession, Jim.
Yeah, no goal, but a lot of time burned off the clock.
Look at the pressure by the Red Devils here.
Yeah, the best defense you have is to have the ball 100 yards away from your own goal. And we get a foul on Hinsdale Central. So actually, to tell you the truth, that works against New Trier because play stops, but the clock keeps moving.
Yeah, the clock keeps moving.
Nearly
right.
stolen in midfield. Ground ball scooped up by Sophie Randall.
Boy, how many times throughout the season is New Trier chasing 4 goals? Hasn't happened too often.
No, hasn't happened hardly at all.
Yeah.
Turned it over at midfield. New Trier's lowest goal total of the year, 5 against Upper Arlington, Ohio.
Wow.
Do you know where Upper Arlington is, Mark?
I have no idea.
That would be, if you lived right next to Muirfield Village, Jack Nicklaus's golf course, you would go to Upper Arlington High School.
Okay. And a timeout taken here.
Timeout called by Hinsdale Central, and great timeout because the horses have to go for 10 more minutes. So you get them a break, get them a chance to rest.
Great timeout by Dan Hartman, and he's telling his team, look, we got 10 more minutes. Don't get complacent on offense. Keep moving the ball around, and don't make mistakes.
The Emmy Award-winning Inside Game of the Week is proud to present its coverage of the Chicago State University 4A Super Sectional between Simeon and Whitney Young. These two formidable foes faced off in mid-March to see who would advance to the state's Final Four. You can view this program on CN100 or check it out on demand under Get Local CN100 Game of the Week. X1 users look for Get Local under the Xfinity Services tab. Hard to believe, Mark, this is our final weekend of the year, the school year.
Incredible. Incredible.
We graduate next week.
Well, we've always said, Jim, if you're still playing your sport and you have reached the month of June, then you are in good shape.
I think if you're a spring sports athlete, one of your goals always has to be, if you're a senior, to have to go to practice without having to go to class.
Yeah.
Baseball and softball, they've still got another week to go. It's been a clinic today by Hinsdale Central. They have they've made mistakes, but you can count them on one hand. They have played about a perfect game. Maybe the biggest task right now for Dan Hartman is to keep his team under control.
Yeah.
They are really jacked up down there. They still have some work to do. We have 9:53 left to go. It certainly looks good for Hinsdale Central, but the clock is not at 00 yet.
Not only the chance to win the first IHSA state championship in girls lacrosse, Jim, but to do it on your home field. How special is that?
Not many teams get an opportunity to do that. Of course, some of the sports, you're playing in college stadiums or arenas.
Yeah. Stevenson girls water polo. They won a state title in their home pool. Red Devils trying to win the lacrosse title in their home field.
And you just do the math right here. Is you've got under 10 minutes to go. So New Trier needs a goal every 2.5 minutes, and right now their big problem is they don't have the ball.
Yeah. And again, that's assuming they're going to win every draw control
yes.
as well.
That means you've got to score and you've got to win the draw that
Right.
comes up afterwards.
Yep. Tough task.
Hinsdale Central looking strong. Pisani was driving. If it's not there in a wide open lane, there's no sense in shooting it. Now, some people might find this boring, but the beauty of what Hinsdale Central is doing in this game with their possessions is remarkable. Back to the goal. Surtak really didn't have a look at it, so didn't take the shot.
Scramble mode defensively for the Trevians.
They're really pressuring Hamoud, and she just does not cough it up.
Well, they have got to be getting tired.
Under 9 minutes to go.
And what's this whistle about here?
Well, just based on the reaction by Lydia Kaup, I think it's on her. Very interesting to see what Sydney Collignan does here.
Yeah. I don't think you need another goal, Jim. You just need, well, they do get one.
And it comes from Christiana Surtak. Her second of the game, and I think the celebration can begin, and the Hinsdale Central bench is saying they are not worthy.
5-goal lead. Sydney with the pass. She'll get the assist. Surtak, as Jim mentioned, her second goal of the game. Second multi-goal player. Jessica Joy has 3, and now Christiana Surtak with a pair.
To give you an idea of how defensive-minded this game has been, if Hinsdale Central were to win this game with the amount of goals they have right now, it would be the fewest amount of goals they have scored in a win all season long.
Wow.
In fact, it would be the fewest amount of goals they have scored in any game this season. Even in their losses, there was only one time when they were below double digits. They had 9 in a loss to Lassiter, Georgia back in March.
Yeah. And to hold this New Trier team, Jim, to an unbelievable 2 goals.
Now, how about this, Mark? If the score remains with 7 goals on the board for Hinsdale Central, if I told you this, okay, if I told you Hinsdale Central was going to play both Loyola and New Trier in their last 2 games of the year, and they're only going to score 15 goals, would you assume they won both games? You wouldn't.
No.
No way.
No.
Defensively, Hinsdale Central has given up 7 goals so far in the semifinals and finals.
Yeah, New Trier getting shut out here in the second half.
Yeah, I think that's going to get buried a little bit.
Yeah.
But just the performance. And really, Hinsdale Central has not had to play a lot of defense in this game because they've done such a good job of controlling the ball and winning the faceoffs at the start of the possessions. I can tell you this right now, the Hinsdale Central fans, the parents and the student body, they can barely contain themselves because they feel like they've got this, and in all likelihood they do, but it's not official yet, and they know that. So it's getting very hard for them to concentrate on the matter at hand, and a one-touch goal coming down the middle for Surtak, and she has now scored 2 consecutive goals.
Jessica Joy with the assist as Surtak goes right down the middle. As Jim mentioned, the quick catch and shoot. Here's another look at it here. Joy with the pass. Surtak right up the middle, and she goes down. Boy, she almost hit her head on the goalpost. What an effort. 7 unanswered goals. Actually, she's about a couple yards away from the goalpost there, but nevertheless, she gets her 3rd goal of the game. Yeah, and you're right, Jim. The celebration can begin here. Look at the smile on the face of Surtek.
Yeah, I think now you can.
Oh, my. What a game.
You can pretty well put it on the board, as a friend of ours says.
The way the Red Devils have executed offensively has been absolutely remarkable.
Boy, and I'm checking right now. And as far as I know, for Hinsdale Central, this is the last team standing, their girls lacrosse team. So this will finish their athletic year with a state championship. Not a bad way to go out.
No.
So it looks like it's going to be up to the New Trier girls soccer team to win a state championship today, as the boys volleyball team absolutely came up on the short end in the semifinals. And it looks like the girls lacrosse team is going to go down to defeat as well. And we get a clutch and grab, and it will stay New Trier ball with 6:42 to go and the clock running.
Getting up very slowly, Lucy Murray.
Courtney Caskey drives, passes off. Wanted to get it back from Lucy Murray. In front, and difficult shot. And New Trier not done yet, as they get a goal to make it 7-3, and that was Charlie Meyer.
Charlie Meyer with the goal. Lucy Murray with a nice pass. Murray will get credit with the assist. Good movement by Charlie Meyer, only a 5'5" sophomore. Take a look at the pass by Murray. And a nice shot by the young sophomore. New Trier's first goal since the 1948 mark of the first half.
Olivia Tragos out for the draw for New Trier. It gets interesting if New Trier wins this draw. Surtak is out there for Hinsdale Central, as she has been all game.
We've seen stranger things in this game, haven't we, Jim?
Hinsdale Central will get it off the draw.
Not quite the same here, but how about the last year's boys state final? New Trier got a couple of goals late, right?
Well, remember, how many years ago was it where New Trier looked dead?
Yeah.
And they got a goal in the dying moments to tie it and send it to overtime and won in front.
Whoa!
Well, tack one on for Hinsdale Central. Jessica Joy, her fourth of the game.
Second game in a row in which Jessica Joy has scored 4 goals. She had 4 against Loyola. She's got 4 against New Trier. Nice pass there by Calignan. Jenna with the assist.
You know, it's a really good thing that Dan Hartman doesn't have to have a film session after this game, because he would really have to search for things to be critical of. His team has been outstanding today.
In all aspects, no doubt.
And this is a nice one if you're a coach, because you just enjoy it now.
So you can equate that goal to like a fast break in basketball.
Yeah.
That was run beautifully, wasn't it?
Surtak again. So, how about Surtak? Couple of goals and all the draw wins.
10 of them, right? 10 draw controls for Hinsdale Central.
Is that awesome enough for the committee to make her the player of the game, I wonder?
Oh, man.
The committee never likes my suggestions. Like the year I suggested at Glenbard West, the kicker be the player of the game.
Well, they're discussing it in the truck. 5:39 remaining.
My favorite player of the game discussion involved the one game I had to recuse myself. That was
Kaylee, right?
I recused myself before the game, and then in the headset, I heard after she scored the goal, put the game away. Jim, you got a suggestion? There's another one.
Wow.
And Hinsdale Central just rolling.
Yeah,
and
Surtak again.
Surtak is building my case for me as she comes up with her third goal of the game, and third here in the second half.
Well, here it is. The nice pass there from Hamoud. Hamoud getting the assist.
Is she going to come back out and now try to get another draw?
4 for Surtac and 4 for Joy, right?
And Surtac has, Surtac's fourth, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
She had one in the first half. All right, now even more so. She should be player of the game.
With the 10 draw controls and the 4 goals.
Yep.
That's impressive.
And she scored 4 goals on 5 shots.
Ten draw controls as a team for Hinsdale Central. Big part of this story.
Can she win another one?
Yeah.
And the answer is maybe. The answer is yes. Jenna Kalignan. Boy, I would think Dan Hartman now, he just wants to see this girl shooting the ball. It's like, come on, guys. Well, if you get that open, maybe you have to. And instead, that one will go in back behind the goal. Lally Johnson, a little aggressive. It will stay Hinsdale Central ball. Yeah, the thing that is most amazing to me, Mark, is semifinals and finals. Hinsdale Central is outscoring their opponents 18-8.
And those 2 opponents?
Loyola and New Trier.
Yeah.
The number 1 and the number 2 teams in the state. 4:22 to go here in the second half. Wide open net. Oh, boy. You know they're not shooting when you see that passed up, and there's a shot from right in front by Surtac that bounces over the crossbar. Four minutes to go. Boys State Championship coming up next, Loyola against New Trier. So the New Trier boys and the New Trier girls soccer team are the last 2 standing with chances to win a state championship today for New Trier on a big day for the Trevians. Can they get another state championship trophy to add into the case? And that one was just kind of taken away by Sabrina Rice as we are under 3.5 to go. Okay, so think about this, Mark.
Yeah.
New Trier, they have teams playing in 4 state championship games in one day.
Yeah.
And again, I went to a 3-year high school. You want to know how many state championship games there were for my high school the whole time I was in high school?
1.
1. And you want to know, it was our baseball team, and Nick Pino, our stats guy, who's done a great job all year, I think he'll appreciate this. You want to know who the opposing pitcher was when we got to the state championship game? Brian Fisher. Remember Brian Fisher with the New York Yankees?
Sure. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was we had no chance. We faced 2 future major leaguers. The state tournament began, the state series began in the quarterfinals. We faced Daryl Ackerfels, rest in peace, in the quarters from Columbine High School. Daryl later went on to pitch the Cleveland Indians, was actually their pitching coach when he passed away. And then we got Brian Fisher in the finals.
Jeez. That's not fair.
So the New Trier kids, four state championships to pull for in one day in 2018. Jim Blaney's Niwot High School 1 state championship game. 2:13 to go. Any at DGS when you were there?
Well,
state championship games?
God, you're gonna have to. Well, the football team made it to the championship game and lost.
Okay, when you were
East
there.
St. Louis, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you had at least 1.
Yeah. Yeah, and a couple soccer state titles too.
Okay, so yeah, you had quite a few.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, I didn't participate in any.
No, I didn't. And just let me be clear, I did not. But you want to know who the coach of our baseball team was?
Huh.
A guy by the name of Bob Bodie. His son David made his major league debut with the Cubs about a month ago in Colorado.
Wow, neat is that?
Minute and a half to go. Hinsdale Central trying to finish off an unbelievable weekend, knocking off Loyola in the semis, New Trier in the state championship game. And they will make history by becoming the first high school lacrosse champions in the state of Illinois. Surtac now just making it look easy. 5th goal of the game for Surtak and her 4th of the second half. Yeah, New Trier just chasing and being aggressive on defense now, and just when you're that aggressive, you let people get open. I think she is going to be one tired young lady when this thing is over. 8 shots, 5 goals, and on draw control, she's up to 11. Oh, that's the team total. Sorry about that. Minute 23 to go. It is, and the real domination in this game by Hinsdale Central has been in the second half. New Trier has had very little time on the attack in this second half. Hinsdale Central, another draw victory. Hinsdale Central has outshot New Trier 12-3 in the second half. Minute to go in this state championship game. Hinsdale Central, they have a lot of state championship banners hanging in the ceiling in their gym. There's another goal, that time by Elena Hamoud. She's done a lot of nice work controlling the ball. It's nice to see her get the payoff of scoring a goal. Elena Hamoud out in front. She'll put it away. So for Hamoud, a sophomore, she'll get a chance to maybe repeat next year. But I was going to say, you look at the banners hanging in the gym at Hinsdale Central High School, most of the state championships are swimming and diving and tennis. And they're going to throw another lacrosse banner up there now. Under a minute to go. Surtak has been out there for every draw in this game, and they win another one. 40 seconds to go. The Hinsdale Central girls can barely contain, the ones that are on the sideline, barely contain their enthusiasm. Because again, not surprising that they're going to win this game, but what is surprising is the domination they've had in winning it. Kendall Napier, a senior, scores with 12 seconds remaining. And because that was the goal that made it a 10-goal lead, the clock did not stop after the goal, and now the Hinsdale Central girls get to celebrate. They make history. They win the first ever IHSA Lacrosse Championship. They're a winner over New Trier by a final score of 13-3. We're back to wrap it up in a moment on the CN100 Game of the Week. Let's go to Mark Kruger with our player of the game.
All right, Jim, thank you very much. Christiana Surtak, indeed, our CN100 player of the game. 5 goals in the championship game. The Red Devils are your IHSA state champions. First of all, young lady, congratulations. How does it feel?
It feels amazing. We've been working so hard for this. We got up every morning, every day on the off season at 4:50, and we worked out in the Bouchard, which is our gym. So this is actually amazing. It shows that hard work really pays off.
To get through Loyola and now New Trier, just how special of a feeling is that?
It's surreal. We've just been working really, really hard for this, and it feels really good to know that this hard work paid off.
As far as this game, the ground controls, 13-4 in your advantage. You were a big part of that. What was the key to getting all those ground controls?
Are you talking about the draws and that?
The draws, right.
So before this, we were at 11 today. We practiced the draws, and we wanted to just keep changing everything up, so that's exactly what I did. It's kind of like a game of cat and mouse. Once you put it somewhere, you know you have to place it somewhere else the next time, so that's what I did.
Not only to win it, but to win it on your home field in front of your home fans, that has to be an awful feeling. Awful great feeling.
It's amazing. We did this for them. They really gave us the momentum out there, having our family and being on our home field. It's exciting.
Let you go celebrate. You guys going to do it again next year?
Yes. Heck yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Jim, back upstairs to you.
The first ever IHSA lacrosse champions, the Hinsdale Central Red Devils. They win it. Final score 13-3. Doesn't get much better than that. Our play of the game, it came midway through the first half in a 2-2 game. Sydney Collignon to Jenna Collignon. This was the goal that made it 3-2, and it began a run for Hinsdale Central where they scored 6 consecutive goals. And from there they go on to win this one by a final of 13-3. Let's take a look at the stats from this game, and Mark and I talked about it a lot. And the two key areas that relate to possession were dominated by Hinsdale Central. And they were the draw controls, which was in favor of Hinsdale Central by a margin of 13-4, and the ground balls in the favor of Hinsdale Central 10-3. So when possession was there for either team to have, you combine those two, and it works out to a 23-7 favor for Hinsdale Central. Not hard to see why they dominated this game today, and they get the victory in this state championship game. The CN100 Game of the Week is brought to you by Xfinity. Get the internet speed and TV channels you want at a price you're going to love, and find out how to get up to 5 lines of unlimited nationwide talk and text at no extra cost with Xfinity Mobile. Call 1-800-XFINITY today. So for Mark Kruger and our entire CN100 crew, I'm Jim Blaney. Thank you so much for joining us, and congratulations to the Hinsdale Central Red Devils. They are the IHSA Girls Lacrosse Champions, the first ones ever, after beating New Trier by a final score of 13-3 on the CN100 Game of the Week.